What's up, everyone? Draft-a-Palooza is back, and we're drafting best ball teams all summer long. Underdog, DraftKings, whatever it is that you want to do, we're doing it. Best ball. We're scratching the fantasy football itch. It's July. I don't give a shit. I love it. I love it, Polak. So we are back. We're drafting best ball teams, and I want to always start every one of these with just the latest fantasy football news, rumors, alerts, and everything else. So the biggest thing that I'm hearing, and I'm hearing over the weekend, and I'm hearing a lot of buzz, is about Tampa Bay wide receiver Emeka Egbuka just really impressing it in training camp. The word is he's going to have a big role with the team. Okay, Emeka Egbuka, somebody I've loved since he was drafted, and I have a ton of exposure to Egbuka across all of my dynasty teams. Now, here's what makes this exciting for fantasy football purposes. Egbuka, so one of the things that I've been thinking this year was just about how with Egbuka, he's for the WR1 role on the Bucs, he's really just competing with Mike Evans, who's old, always has a hamstring injury. Chris Godwin coming off of a major injury. Don't know about his health. Don't know, how ready he is. Don't know if he'll re-injure it. He did get a big contract in the offseason. But the important thing is the two wide receivers that are effectively blocking Egbuka from being pretty much treated the way we might treat any of the superstar rookie type wide receivers, Hunter and Ted McMillan, who are both going pretty much in round 4. The thing that's pushing Egbuka to round 7 or 8 is, hey, there's this perception that these other wide receivers are just going to be ahead of him, and they probably will. But two old wide receivers, this is best ball. The old guys could easily get hurt. There is a massive pass forward. There we go, fact. There is a massive upside potential for Egbuka, especially if you get what I think might really happen. Like, I don't think it's out of control to think that we might see a Mike Evans hammy pull that keeps him out for 6 or 7 games. We could see Godwin getting some sort of, re-injury, or even not starting the season off, starting the season on PUP and coming in injured and starting slow. So, we really want to, I love this. I love the buzz about Egbuka. So let's pay attention to it. The second piece of buzz that I kind of pulled up and saw this morning, and I think this is very relevant to our best ball as well, although, not the end all be all, but word out of Jacksonville is that the rookie Bajal Tootin needs to do a lot of work in pass protection in order to really secure a role on the team. So we went from this idea that Bajal Tootin is going to challenge Travis Etienne / Tank Bigsby for the primary role on the team to now, the buzz is not even positive. It's more like, man, this guy needs some work in pass protection. Why is that important? Because Travis Etienne, then, like Bajal Tootin, whatever, he's a backup, you never know. Fine. Has a lot of paths to being useful, but also has a lot of paths to being completely worthless, right? But what's interesting to me about this one is Travis Etienne, right? He's a good pass protector. He's very good at that. So it's very possible that the demise and destruction of Travis Etienne is not actually what we think. It might not have happened. He might be fine, right? He might, and you're getting him super late. So I would call that positive buzz on Travis Etienne and negative buzz and positive, but negative buzz on Bajal Tootin, and give me a positive buzz on Emeka Egbuka. There's also some stories coming out of the Giants camp that Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors are developing a nice connection. I don't know. It affects me nothing. And I don't like Russell Wilson, and I love Malik Neighbors, so affects me nothing. But it is a reminder also when you think about the Giants that, again, their quarterback play should be improved this year. So, yeah, Malik Neighbors is going to be awesome, but I continue to like Wan'Dale Robinson, and I think Darius Slayton is a really interesting last wide receiver to be adding in some of these drafts, like the last minute. All right, so that does it for our NFL sort of rumor mill / news and notes portion of the Palooza. Let's get back into what we're doing here, which is drafting best ball teams all summer long. And again, I've got it seems like I'm in this pattern now where I'm doing Underdog Monday, Friday, and DraftKings on Wednesday. Don't ask me why. It just seems to be the pattern. It's just the pattern I've been doing. So we're going to keep it going. Let's go back to the eliminator for today. I'm going to do one of these for sure. I always want to do an eliminator contest. This has been, for me, just my favorite of the options. Reminder of how the eliminator works on Underdog. Underdog's cool like that, man. They made a bunch of different formats, and I appreciate them for it because I think that people are not really adjusting their mentality and approach going from one to the next. I know even I fall into the trap. What do we know about the eliminator? The eliminator is it's a weekly contest where half of the field is eliminated every single week. So you have to treat this like a cash game. It's the opposite. It's the exact opposite of the way you would build for, let's say, a weekly winners, which one winner each week. This is the opposite. This is a cash game approach, meaning we just got to build a solid team, got to get past the first 3-4 weeks. Later on, as you continue to progress in this contest, there are fewer and fewer opponents. You're going to start to run. So with this one, you have to be very careful about bye weeks. We don't want overlapping bye week. We don't want any 1 week. You cannot tank a week in this thing. And if you take a look at how it's scored, again, you're in your pod for week 1, and then you move out and you get these head-to-head matchups. A little bit of luck will be necessary, which is why I think I need a lot of lineups in this thing, because a little bit of luck will be necessary. Now, you don't want to wind up in a one-on-one here in week 8 or 9, and you have 5 bye weeks, and your opponent has nothing, and then you're gone. So you got to really avoid massive bye weeks late or zeros in your lineup late, and then it gets to a 3-seed final. This should be a pretty awesome contest, big prizes. You're in the final. The first place is $200K. So this is real money, good stuff. I loves it. Let's do the eliminator. I'm going to try to get as many lineups as I can in this contest this season, and I hope you guys are with me on it because I think this will be a fun one to watch. So I just entered the eliminator, $10 entry. This one is filling up fast. So there we go. Oh, yeah, you guys were on it. So there we are. It is full. And of course, what I've been doing for the last few of these breakdowns, rather than show you my player screen, Fact 74 in there, UCF is with us. Whoa, we got a big group here for a Monday. I hope everybody had a good Independence Day weekend. And you're back in action. So let's take a look at who's in here with us. Ivan Drago's there. We got Soups, of course. Have we done any drafts without Soups? Very rare. UCF Jaguar and Fact 74 in here with us. What's up? What's up? David McLaughlin. We got a newbie. Let's go. Davey Mack, 176. All right. There we go. Now, Dave, you're in here with us. I want you to do well. So a reminder, just pay. In this contest, we don't need, so this is important. We are not worried here about correlation. Correlation is something that you're very focused on when you're doing the other playoff style contests that they have here on Underdog. But in this format, correlation don't matter. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. You want to avoid correlation. You can here in favor of, we really want to avoid correlation here in favor of just building strong, like a solid, high floor team. Oh, there we go. That was not good. We want to build a solid high floor team, guys. No correlation. We don't care. Don't need a monster score in week 15. Don't need a monster score in week 17 to win it all. We just need to get there. And then we're going to be up against such a small group that who cares? So let's see how this goes. First few picks have gone pretty chalk. There goes CM Sizzles. Chalky start. I'm going to say something about Puka Nacua that the Riddler took over there. I'm just going to say a little something about Puka, which is, Puka Nacua, high injury risk with that player. He's had a ton of injuries throughout his career. It's just been a thing with him. And so he also wasn't as awesome as he was last. There's Malik Achan. All right, so we are down to either kind of elite wide receivers. Running backs that I like are pretty well gone for this spot. So we're going to have to kind of pivot a little bit from my usual approach. We'll go with Brian Thomas here. I usually like to come out on the eliminator with heavy running backs in the first few picks. But, I mean, we're in here with friends who are all well aware of that. R-Rater, yeah, another pick I didn't really love there. A.J. Brown, I've talked a ton about why I think A.J. Brown is somebody who does not belong anywhere in the second round of drafts this year. I'm going to have to make a video on it. Guys, I don't know what we're doing here with Brown. I really don't. The guy averaged 16 fantasy points per game last year. The team is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Why would you take him there? He's not doing it. He doesn't get enough. He'll have monster spike games. Don't get me wrong. I love Chase Brown. Like, I'm not trying to say I don't love the guy. Love Chase, not Chase Brown. I love A.J. Brown, good player. But the problem is he does not get enough target volume week after week because Saquon's there and because Hurts is there and because they play good defense. So, do with it what you will. Do with it what you will. But I have a video coming out soon about players I'm not taking on the rounds that they're going. A.J. Brown is my second round guy. I'm not taking him there. Not going to do it. Look at how interesting this draft has gone, where at the turn, Fact 74, notice how different. I don't know if that's because I've been talking up the strategy for this contest or what, but the Fact 74, that you had to take Kyron Williams at Breece Hall at the turn at a spot where I've been getting Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, and Bucky Irving. Like, either these running backs are moving on up. It's like George Jefferson up in here. They're moving on up. I don't know what Weezy has to think about all that. Let's see here. So, all right, let's follow along with what we got going on here. I will be up on the clock shortly. Again, some real fallers here. The high-end quarterbacks go early, and I kind of like that. Davey Mack, Terry McLaurin, fine. Don't forget, you don't really need to worry too much about correlation in this format. Does not matter as much or very much. JSN goes there. You know what I do kind of like in this format, but I'm not going to do there yet. Here, we got Jimmy Cook. We got T. Higgins. Man, that is a drop on Higgies like I've never seen before. But I'm going to go with upside running back here. Again, Cook. Why did I take Cook? T. Higgins fell. T. Higgins is a guy who I've seen go at the top of round 3 as well. And here he is at the end of round 3. Really unusual draft. We got Mike Evans going there. Not sure how I feel about that. But there, yeah, okay. All right. You took Devontae. Yep. We'll just get our yeoman-like scoring from our running backs here. I'm at running back number 3. We got Chuba, Cook, Genty. This isn't, as far as starts go, is this as ideal as I would have loved it? No, I mean, they're not as strong of a trio, but I get 3 starting running backs. Remember, in this format, it's important to understand we got to get past that first week. You got to get past the first few weeks, and I think the running backs and a strong emphasis on running backs will help us get there. But yeah, it doesn't hurt. Some of you guys who are taking elite quarterbacks here, Davey Mack right there. I don't know if that was an auto pick, but I'm fine with that one too. Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels there, Jalen Hurts, but you want to have quarterbacks in this format that can get you those 30-plus point scores. If you wait at quarterback and take a bunch of the next group, which is effectively who's left now, we're now beyond the point of guys who are kind of regularly going to get a 30-plus or even can be expected to get you a 30-plus. We're in the Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray zone, Justin Fields. These are more players that we're happy to get a 20-plus out of most of the time. Joe Burrow, maybe a little better than these other guys. But that's pretty much the part of the draft that we're at. And again, not really worrying about correlation or stacking these quarterbacks with anyone. It does not matter in this format at all. So there we go. Just keeping an eye on things. But I think the way that this draft fell was really interesting in the sense that we definitely had some of these running backs go earlier than they normally do. And as a consequence, some of the wide receivers dropped a little bit. Should we have taken advantage of it? I don't know. It's just what happened. I could have taken T. Higgins there at a bargain price. But like I said, I do like to come out. I like to come out of these drafts with 3 and maybe even 4 true starting running backs. Because again, if I've got 4, and that seems like overkill, like Kev, you can't take all these players who will be scoring for you. But if I get 4 of these like true starting running backs, I feel like I've got a better chance of. Wait, here we go. Ooh, this is interesting, chat. All right, K Sizzles says he or she took AJ Brown in the first round to get unique combos. Yeah, that is what that will do. Must be Michigan. You want good players on good teams, not volume hogs. I know I want volume hogs. Yes, I do. That's what I like to get. Sorry, I looked down and I wanted to pay attention to that, and then I didn't know what I was doing on the pick. But yes, let's get back to this. Must be Michigan. AJ Brown's a very good wide receiver on a very good team, sure. But here's the problem. His team only throws the ball 20 to 22 times per game, right? He is competing with other players that do get catches. But the most important thing is the guy averaged 16 fantasy points per game last year, and I can get 19 fantasy points per game average like what T. Higgins did last year at the end of round 3. So why do I need to waste a premier spot basically on someone like that when I can just do better at a different position group? Okay, we got Waddle. There we go. Okay, so I can do better at a different position group. That's all I'm saying. Like, I can get a guy who averaged 16 fantasy points per game in round 4 or 5. Why do I need to DJ Moore will average about the same as AJ Brown. So that's my argument with AJ Brown. I like the guy. Don't get me wrong. I like the guy. He's a good player, but I think top of round 2 is not the spot for him. I do care about volume. I do care about volume. I care about volume. I care about touchdowns. Who's getting all the touchdowns on the Eagles? Saquon Barkley's eating up a lot of the touchdowns. Jalen Hurts is eating a lot of touchdowns. And that is not a team that tends to continue to push offense, especially via the pass when they're ahead. They've got a great defense there as well. So yeah, that's the issue for me. Now, flip side argument about the AJ Brown situation, and the argument that I'll accept on the other side of it is that the Eagles have a much tougher schedule this year. They're going to be a lot more competitive games. They're probably going to be throwing the ball more this year, because of these more competitive teams. They got that Super Bowl winning schedule this year, which should be more difficult, which means they should maybe need to execute more offense. We'll see how that goes. I think if you look around the NFC East, yeah, the teams are better this year across the board. The teams are definitely better this year in the NFC East. You think about, of course, the improvements that the Commanders continue to make. They're just going to keep getting better with that stud quarterback that they have. They added some wide receiver talent. And then you've got Dallas, who, I don't know, for every year, for some reason at the beginning of a year, Dallas always seems like they're going to be good, and then they just suck, right? But at least it's the beginning of the year, the part of the year where Dallas seems like it could be good. And the Giants are improved. Listen, you can't knock the Giants. They're an improved team. They're improved as well. So, yes, the entirety of that NFC East is probably a little bit better than they were last year. Could that mean more competitive games for the Eagles? Sure. So there's an argument for AJ Brown. I just feel like, why risk it? At that point, just take Ladd McConkey or take who went after him? Yeah, take Drake London. Here we go. Ladd McConkey went after him. Yeah, he went as the last of the sort of stud wide receivers. But, I would take any of those running backs. Chase Brown. I'll take Chase Brown over him all day. let's see where we're at here. Got to pay attention to the draft a little bit. Not in love with the running back group here. Oh, there was another rumor, but I don't want to talk about it until I deal with that player. So I'm gonna make the move based on what I said at the beginning. The rumor, Travis Etienne, and we're just gonna take Travis Etienne here. I don't know. That might be the only share of Travis Etienne I have all year. Yes, Brown does this. He does the boomer bust thing. And he is a best ball darling for that reason. And AJ Brown, I'll give it to him. He will win you a few weeks because he'll have those pop games. Most seasons, like if you go back and look at his returns last year, and I listen. Friendly talk, man. We are. This is not about I know everything and you know nothing. If you've ever you watch these, that is not what we're about here. It will never be about that. I want Justin Fields. No, give him to me. What happened? Oh, all right. Talk so much. So where's the saying? Yeah, that's not what we're about here. We love everybody's opinions on what we're doing, and everybody's valued here in the chat. So I love the conversations going as well. But yeah, my problem with AJ Brown, I said it last year, was just there's not enough volume there. Yeah. See, all right. I don't know. I would say mix it up a little bit. It must be Michigan. But yeah, 30% is fine. That's an acceptable amount. Let's see how everybody in the chat is doing here. Let's take a little pause from just my talky talks and get a little bit of a look here at what everybody's team looks like so far. Let's see how many picks until I'm up. I got to be paying close attention here. All right, so let's open this up a little bit. There we go. All right, so in the chat here, of course, at the helm, we've got Fact and UCF Jaguar. Fact with nice start there. Breece Hall. Oh, man, it's such a reach for Kyron and Breece Hall, but I think you did what you had to do to get those running backs. We've been talking a lot about making sure you get good quality running backs in this format. So Hall and Kyron, there you go. Got Joe Burrow, good player. Aaron Jones, I think, is a really good early season running back. So that looks pretty good. Of course, because of some of that, you've got a lot of nice wide receivers. Emeka Egbuka, somebody we talked about in terms of that rumor mill at the onset. So good stuff there. UCF goes heavier running back here. And this is how I like to see you do it. Saquon, Walker, Connor, who's really good for this format. Judkins, I think, should be okay at that point. And even Jordan Mason, who I like a lot. So that looks pretty good to me. Soups, of course. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, can't scoff at that, like George Kittle, as well, and Pickens, the Georges, Tony Pollard, Travis Kelce. So the next person I wanted to talk about was actually Travis Kelce. Soups, you took him in the last round, and Travis Kelce, the other part of the rumor mill that I didn't mention was that he's come into camp in supposedly amazing shape. Now, maybe my read was wrong on Kelce, partying with Blake Lively and all the crew, not doing a lot of work. But then we find out, hey, Fields, damn, this guy's been in the gym, coming in 25 pounds lighter. The coaches are talking about getting him off to a quick start this season. So, I mean, is there anything more fascinating than some Travis Kelce buzz when you can get him as late as we are getting him this year in these drafts? So that's pretty wild stuff. Travis Kelce coming in shape, 25 pounds lighter than he was last year. That's what we want to see from Travis Kelce. So, if you need a little buzz, get a little bit excited about Travis Kelce, you've got a reason to be. Got a reason. Meanwhile, let's see how Davey Mack is doing. McCaffrey, Bucky, Trevion Henderson, nice little start there. All three studs. Hurts and McLaurin, really good. Pearsall, that's my guy. Love Ricky Pearsall this year. Jerry Jeudy, Samwise, Laporta there, and Hawkinson. I think this is a lot of tight end energy. A little Scatterbo in the middle. So really solid start Dave Mack. Nothing to make fun of here. I was going to, nothing to rip on. Soups is also late start on quarterbacks, so getting the fill going. In this format, for me, if you don't take an early QB, you need like 3 decent middling ones. So you're seeing here the guys who took the Josh Allens. I think it's a little soon for some of these guys to take that second one, but Burrow and Kyler Murray, like, fact, I think you're done at quarterback, if you're asking me. 2 is plenty. And guys, a reminder, and I just remind myself as well, to keep an eye on your bye weeks. This is not the format to have a lot of bye weeks that overlap. So keep an eye, make sure you've got starting worthy players for every position group and enough of them to make up for the bye weeks and all that kind of thing. Like Drake May's got a week 14 bye. So now when I look at other potential QBs, I'm certainly going to pay attention to what their bye weeks are. I need a tight end as well. So we'll have to get someone and make sure also you don't have some crazy bye week. So that's where I'm at. I think it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. Ivan Drago, you're like, get out of my fucking brain, dude. You're in my brain. Every time I want a player, Ivan Drago's right there to take him. Classic Drago. Classic. We've been doing too many of these. Too many of these together. You already know who I'm looking at next. I'm done at running back for the most part. Keeping an eye on these wide receivers. But certainly I'm in the tight end and QB phase. I need more wide receivers as well. So I've got the 2 quarterbacks at this point. Need wide receivers. Need tight ends. I'm good at running back. So let's see what this looks like. I guess we're going with the rookie here, and we'll see how that goes. Tyler Warren. There we go. Hacker says TD Joe in the 12th spot. Oh, he's in 11th spot. Let's see. Yeah. So TD Joe, I don't think it's somebody that's in here. But yes, this is why there are no wide receivers. I guess they're falling. So this guy's just taking them all. But obviously this person has no chance. So we have already in the chat. Good notice, Steve. In the chat here, we have a player who has 0 chance. They're just a waste of time. Okay. TD Joe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wide receivers in a row. First running back is, Benson Spears. These are backup types. These are not guys who can play for you. So he'll be gone in the first week, most likely. Even, I'm sure he'll have great scores from his trio of awesome wide receivers, whichever 3 or 4 can be in the starting lineup for him, and scoring for him. But the problem is there's no running backs on this team. That's going to be tough. The quarterback is not great. So yeah, that's pretty much a dead spot. We need 5 more. We want the dead spots, guys. But good notice on that one. That guy is going to be toast. All right, coming up on my pick. Let's see where we're at here. 4 wide receiver, 1 tight end. I still need wide receivers and tight ends. More tight ends, more wide receivers. Who are the wide receivers still floating around? I'm going to do the tight end thing here. Wide receiver group remaining is getting pretty soft. There's really not a whole lot going on. I probably need to add another one, almost more importantly than anything else. One thing you note when you're doing a lot of these drafts is there's always a tight end available that's going to be playing, right? There's always a guy who has a pulse. even in the final pick in the draft, you're getting pretty much a starting tight end. So whatever from there. But as far as the wide receivers go, the viable ones really start to diminish very quickly. I'm going to take one of my favorites this year, Wan'Dale Robinson here. Wandy, 30% red zone target share last year, didn't score a lot of touchdowns, had multiple double-digit target games last year. Again, crappy quarterback play. Will he continue it? I don't know. Maybe it was those shitty quarterbacks always checking down to Wandy, who just kind of hangs around the near the line of scrimmage, and that's kind of what he does, kind of a little scatty guy. But maybe with Russell Wilson / Dart this year, the Giants will just be a less crap offense, so they'll produce more games where touchdowns are scored by wide receivers, right? That's really what we're looking for. We're looking for wide receiver, receiving touchdowns when we were drafting these guys. And so Wandy, happy to take him there. Gives me my 5th wide receiver. All of my wide receivers have a different bye week. That is good. Spread those bye weeks around. There goes Pat Bryant. We like him as the rookie 3rd round wide receiver for Denver. Denver, not a team where you could really rely too much on that. With my affinity for running backs, where do I stand on Jahmyr Gibbs? This is a great question. Obviously, I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm not going to sit here and shit on Gibbs, but I will also recall that Jahmyr Gibbs' best work last year, where he spiked from this guy who was getting you 15 to 17 fantasy points, in a split role where his upside wasn't that massive. He was looking like that. And then all of a sudden, Montgomery gets hurt last year and he becomes a monster. Then Montgomery comes back. Guys. And for that last couple games, though, Jahmyr Gibbs still really smashed. So are we going to get the Jahmyr Gibbs this year that was the guy for the first 7 weeks of last season, or 8 or 9 weeks? Solid, but not that much upside. He was the opposite. He was somebody that for DFS last year, in the early part of the season, I was talking about more of like a safe, kind of a safe, high floor, low ceiling guy. And now he's being looked at as this monster ceiling guy. Now, it's kind of weird, right? So that's kind of weird. What do you make of it? I don't know. What do you make of it? I'm not sure. Grab Samwise. So again, I've got a nice little spread of bye weeks for my 3 quarterbacks. They're not going to overlap. Fine by me, right? My running back group, well spread out, not a single overlapping bye week. And I've got the same thing going on at wide receiver. I don't know how the fuck I actually pulled this off, but I don't have an overlapping bye week on any player in any position. That's what you want to see. Cash game style. I'm back on the clock. All right. So again, I'm still looking at these tight ends and wide receivers. Just looking for where I can find some squeeze, some upside out here. We'll go with Ertz. He had a big year last year. We're in round 16. 2 more rounds to go. I've got 3. At this point, I've got 3 tight ends, 5 running backs, 3 QBs, only 5 wide receivers. A little soft at the wide receiver group in terms of the volume. Always like that. So we're going to take a look at everybody's draft so far here. We got a minute and we're coming towards the end. So once again, yeah, TD Joe, real fucked up start, whoever this guy is. I think he's going to have a lot of problems fielding a quality team. Another one that I think does not look like that great, Mile High Jabroni. Listen, I love a Jabroni as much as the next guy. Big fan of Hulk Hogan. But bro, this is a Jabroni. This is a Jabroni build with 6 out of your first 7 spots are wide receiver. You can't win in this format like this. What's up, Ray Zanny? You can't win in this format. This is the eliminator. This is the weekly eliminator. Okay? And you have no running backs, this guy. So this is another dead team, in my opinion. Kamara, Tyrone Tracy, Najee Harris. That's not going to get it done. Not in this way. Oh, 3 shitty quarterback. there's nothing good about this guy's team. So we've got two teams that I would say give me vibes of no chance, which hopefully helps out the other, the rest of us, right? We're trying to get past, we try to be top 6. Now, I think 2 of these teams are completely dead. Mile High Jabroni, sorry, bro. You don't know what you're doing. You're drafting this wrong, right? You're doing it wrong, Mile High Jabroni. That's all I can tell you. What else? Who else? In the chat with us, of course, you guys are getting it done right. We'll do a little overview. Let's see R. Ritter, who's drafted early on. I didn't really love. Here, this is just a random person. No offense to this fellow, but Puka, AJ Brown, McBride, Daniels, Flowers, Juwan Jennings. So again, his first running back is Jalen Warren. Second one, Brian Robinson, Ray Davis. This is not a lineup that's going to advance. So I think 3 of the in our chat with us people put what I believe are completely dead lineups in. And by the way, here's a 4th one, RPH. Achan, Harvey, and then your next guy is Charbonnet and Algier. This is a dead lineup to me. You're not going to win. So, guys, I'm really liking this one. I'm really liking this one. All right, I'm in the point now where I just need a body at wide receiver. We'll take DeAndre Hopkins. Hope for the best. Hope for the best there. These last few picks don't matter. But I believe we have now discovered, 3 teams out of the 12 that aren't in this chat with us. So solo teams that built some really shitty lineups. Okay. That built for this contest style, I would say lineups that will be eliminated in week 1. I almost wish I could follow it somehow. Let's go with Waller. Why not? I wish it was a little bit taller. Got an extra tight end. Ray Zanny. Ray style. What's up, brother? 4 tight ends. Let's go. Only 6 wide receivers for me. We got 5 all starters. 5 starting running backs. I only need 3 of them to work out. A couple of upside wide receivers. Brian Thomas Jr. I think if I had to be concerned with the way I built my team, my wide receiver group is certainly the concern. After Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy, sketchy. Jalen Waddle, sketchy. Jordan Addison, sketchy. Wandale and Hopkins, both a little sketchy. So that's pretty much like my concern. I think I maybe went a little too soft at wide receiver. We'll see how much that holds me back. But I do think this is a team I've put together here that should be good enough to get by a few rounds with all this running back, superpower. I can't see when I do the breakdown, guys. I'm not able to see your bye weeks. So I'm just I'm looking at the draft board and I cannot see you know what? Actually, I think I can do that. There's a way for me to do it. So let me, we'll do a little rundown of everybody's draft here. We'll start at the top. So, we're done. We'll start at the top here, Fact 74, as you guys make your final picks. Let's do a quick rundown here, guys. So Fact 74 in the draft with us. Kyron and Breece Hall, both taken well ahead of their ADP. Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, got Joe Burrow in the mix again. Joe Burrow's great, but just keep in mind in this format, it's nice to get the stack going, but it's definitely not something that you need to do. Irrelevant does not help. Irrelevant does not help. So you don't need that. Jacoby Myers, Aaron Jones. We got Kyron Williams, Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, and some backups there. Hopefully, I like Daniel Jones there. Good late wide receiver pickups with DeMario, Calvin Austin, a couple of names we like a lot. So that looks pretty good. UCF, 4 running backs in the first 6 picks. That's what I like to see. Super luxury tight end Brock Bowers in there as well. Got a bargain on Bowers. That's fine. Rashee Rice, Debo, Golden, triple stack. And then, so big concern here, or mild concern UCF for me would simply be the wide receiver. You're kind of like mine. Wide receiver group is pretty mid. Let's see here. Pollock says, yeah, by the way, Keenan, I'm going back to it. Keenan Allen, I feel like where you're getting him here, if he just signs onto a team, he's going to be a massive value. So, yes, I do like him taking him late. Naylor, I'm hearing his name kind of floating around as well a little bit as a nice late round pick. So, but definitely Keenan Allen. We know Keenan Allen, if he makes it onto a roster, will probably be utilized on that roster. He was still good last year. All right, let's see who else we have in the chat with us. Again, we already identified a couple of these people kind of fucked up their drafts, which I'm happy to, happy about it. Maha Jabroni, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 2, basically no quality running backs on Jabroni's team. Soups come in here, Gibbs, Taylor, we got Pollard. So a little thin. Soups, this is a bit. I like it. I like the wide receivers here. Garrett Wilson, Pickens, Diggs there. I love Diggs. I think it's a little crazy. I think maybe it's too much capital on tight ends, but maybe not. Maybe not. I think I'm fine with it. Kittle, Kelsey. Hey, if they're both having a good week, one can step up in the flex. So I'll allow it. Again, not the greatest wide receiver draft, but this is not the format for wide receivers. This is a format for running backs. Half-point PPR. Touchdowns are king on this format. Christian McCaffrey for Dave Mack, who's in the chat with us. CMC, Bucky, Trevion Henderson. We got 3 solid running backs. Terry McLaurin, Judy, and Pearsall. Solid. I like Pearsall ahead of Judy. So there you go. Really good. Jalen Hurts, quality QB in there. We got some good tight ends as well. Bateman, touchdown scorer. Geno Smith, backup QB. Everything about this draft looks pretty freaking good. So nice job, Dave Mack. I can't see your bye. You know what? Let me see what the bye weeks look like for you. I can pull them up here on my other screen. I can't show it on screen. If I put this up, I can't show the draft board. It's like one or the other. But let's look at your bye weeks. Dave Mack. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know what? You got a problem at running back in week 14. But you know what? If you had to have a bye week apocalypse, week 14 is fine. Like, at least it's really late in the season. If you got to week 14 and, yeah, the bye week situation, let's see, you got Trevion Henderson and McCaffrey both on bye week 14. Kind of left with Bucky Irving and Hopium for one of these other guys to, score you some points. Maybe Scadaboo's out as well. So, yeah, you'll have a little bit of concern there. Tight ends, I don't care about that overlap. So, yeah, a little bit of concern with the week 14 running back situation. But you know what? If you got to week 14 in this format, you made a lot of money. A lot of money. So you're fine. But yes, pay attention to that for the next one. I already mentioned it. R. Ritter seems to have a really bad draft. So I think he's one of the dead teams, as is TD Joe with all those wide receivers. Got to take running backs. I don't love RPH with just HN and RJ Harvey. So I see a lot of potential dead teams here. For my team, I went with Ashton, Janty, Cook, Chuba. We got ETN. We got all starting. Even down here, Javonte Williams. These are all starting running backs for their teams. I love that. We got Brian Thomas, Worthy, Waddle, and Addison as our wide receiver core. Wandy Robinson and Hopkins rounding it out. We got a bunch of tight ends and a bunch of quarterbacks to make the deal. I wish I could have had one more, quality wide receiver, I guess. But overall, I'm really happy with this team. So, and Drago, of course, 4 solid running backs in the first 6 picks. You can't go wrong. That's what you want to do. That's really what you want to do. Of course, the wide receiver's a little soft, but I love Cedric Tillman here. Right there, especially. I like Cedric Tillman this year. Jalen Wright, backup for HN, whatever. And then just load up on these bonus late players. Really good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. I say let's do another one. Yeah, with Keenan Allen, when he signs with a team, he's going to be going around like 10. Like, he's going to go from round 15, 16 to round 10, maybe 9. So he's one of those guys, I think, in these early drafts, we get a little bit of an edge with the lack of information, taking him late. I think there are other names like that too, but Keenan Allen's a big one. He needs to sign with the team, but we also might find out that he doesn't sign with anything. He doesn't sign, and dead spot on your team. Okay, that's the dude. If I could get a lot of those guys, the guys who donkey drafted in here must be Michigan. Those were not people in this chat. No one in this chat is doing that stupid shit. Okay, we need those guys. That helps us. And this is why I keep saying, now, I'm not going to redo this contest, but that's why I keep saying this eliminator, what's going on, this is the one contest, really almost the only one on Underdog, where it almost uses the underdog approach against the people who are doing it. These guys are used to drafting in not in other contests. They're used to drafting in every other style of contest, which correlation, and you can take your time, and you can take those running backs that might not be that great early, but they're coming on and surging late, and I make the playoffs, and that's how I win. I think they're not understanding that this contest doesn't work that way. You know, I was hoping that they still had that super flex contest here. I was hoping for it. I don't see it. So it looks like it filled. So let's pivot. Yeah, did somebody yeah, somebody else got in the Superflex one, because I don't see Superflex. I think it's gone. No more Superflex. So I think, I don't know, you want to do one of these 10 max, one of these smaller ones. Here's a 4. Yeah, we'll do the Dachshund. All right. Let's do a Dachshund draft. Dachshund, this is the classic underdog approach. Classic underdog. Yeah, and by the way, yes. I would keep doing the eliminator. I just love the eliminator, but I like to spice it up for these streams by doing a second style. So the Dachshund is the classic underdog style. You make the playoffs and you get a 3-week sprint. 3-week sprint. Okay, that's how it works. You make the playoffs and you have that 3-week playoff sprint. So building correlated teams is important. It looks like the way the advancements happen, 2 of 12. Yeah, so you make it to the playoffs. 2 of the 12 in our pod will advance, and then it's a 5-person pod, a 6-person pod, and then you've got to beat out you got to come out first out of 156 teams in the final. Let's give it a shot. $8 Dachshund. Let's go. I'm in. Oh, shit. I'm showing the wrong thing on screen. My bad, guys. Let's get rid of that. I thought you were seeing that. So, yes, I'm now in the Dachshund. There are some spots left. So, $8 Dachshund. Still a few spots left if you want to get in there. A bunch left. So, this is the slow $8 Dachshund contest on Underdog. We're going to try to fill this thing up. And again, let's adjust our minds. In the last contest, correlation didn't matter. We're just building the best team to get past, especially those first few weeks, especially just taking down the people in our pod. We got lucky in the last one. Everybody in this chat got to, I found 3 completely dead teams. So out of the 12, we're probably really only competing with 9. Our 6 will get through. So I think a lot of us will get, I think that last draft that we just did, we've got a great chance of making it to round 2 at least. And then, the head-to-heads, you don't know what's going to happen. But give me my shot, head-to-head, 50-50 shot. I'll take it, especially if I got a heavy running back group and somebody else doesn't. I mean, guys, think about your season-long leagues. We're filled, by the way. Good job. Everybody jumped in here. Oh, I'm on the pole. Sitting on the pole. Oh, Ivan Drago sandwiching me. Fungul is here with us. What's up, Fungul? I think that's you, Pollock, right? If I remember correctly at this point. We got, let's see who else. UCF in there in the 1.9 hole. Soup's in there at 111. Any of you other guys in here, let me know. But we got Drago, Fungul, UCF, Soups. And those are the names I recognize on the screen right now. Yeah, Drago's always sniping me. Drago lives to snipe me. Now, guys, Bijan Robinson has moved ahead of Saquon Barkley in the ADP right now at running back and overall. So now people are taking Bijan Robinson ahead of Saquon Barkley in this contest. Why are they doing that? Yeah, must be Michigan. Is that you? Okay. He's in there. Is that you? Let's see here. Got you in the 10th spot. Are you Friday the 13th? You will get A.J. Brown in the second. No one else is going to take him there. So I would suggest this. In this format, must be Michigan. If you take A.J. Brown, I think you should aggressively try to make sure that you get Jalen Hurts. Here we want that correlation. We want the combo. Hacker, how do you miss it, man? You gotta be quick on the draw. Hit that live button. Make sure you're watching us true live. Amy's. Do you guys think Amy's is Amy S is an actual female player? The rare lady of best ball. I think a lot of women play best ball. I think like there are enough women who play this. Fantasy football enthusiast girls. But we rarely get them in the chat. So there we go. We are continuing on. Let me throw the draft board up on the screen. To me, this is the view that everybody wants to see. So let's shut down this view, and we're going to present the draft board exclusively right there. Let's widen it up so we can see everything. There we go. Yeah, so here we go. Soups with the early grab of Devon Achane. Derrick Henry, you took Achane over Derrick Henry. That is wild. McCaffrey goes in the 8 hole. CeeDee Lamb drops to pick 6. That's not really a drop for him. That's kind of where he goes. I would take Lamb ahead of Justin Jefferson personally. Fang Shadow takes Bucky Irving at this point now half a round above his ADP. That's pretty crazy. Ahead of Ashton Janty. So, oh, how the mighty hath risen with Bucky Irving. Soups, you get the Janty Achane. You just reversed where they normally go. Normally you get Janty and then Achane with the next pick, but you switched it up. That will not provide you with any kind of uniqueness. It's just like the reverse of the same thing. UCF starting. Now in this format, it's perfectly acceptable to build a team that could start slow and really come on strong late. So the 0 RB approach is much more reasonable and much more viable in an approach like this. There goes A.J. Brown. But again, in an approach like this, that's much more reasonable / viable. I also appreciate that Friday the 13th there. You know, I don't care how much you like A.J. Brown. You got to take Amon-Ra ahead of him. Also, Brock Bowers. Very good here. Great in this format. Material advantage at the tight end hole that cannot be replicated. Ivan Drago, for once, left me with a player I wanted. Notice that T. Higgins also in this one, guys. Notice that T. Higgins went where he went, which is I'm going to take Jacobs here, but T. Higgins went in the previous draft. Higgins went at the end of round 3, and here you see him at the end of round 2. So a full round difference from one draft to another. Maybe based on the format, maybe based on people really understanding that, the eliminator, you really need to take those running backs early. Garrett Wilson goes to Drago. So Drago with a solid 3 wide receivers start in a row. Again, perfectly acceptable in this format to kind of switch it up and go wide receiver heavy, unlike the last contest. Fungul with Devontae Adams also. Again, I love him. I love him here. I've been getting Devontae at the end of round 3 all day. I think Devontae's going to have a monster year if he stays healthy. I think I like him ahead of Tyreek Hill, who just went back-to-back with him. I don't take Tyreek Hill over. Tyreek Hill's like, he has the same kind of upside as Devontae Adams, potentially, but we've seen some issues with Tyreek Hill last year. Maybe they're fine now, and maybe it's not a big deal anymore. But you know who we didn't see issues with? Devontae Adams. He looked fine last year. Looked the same as always. So to me, yeah, Devontae Adams should be ahead of Tyreek. And I think Tyreek Hill is a much higher risk kind of a play. Also, Tyreek Hill gets absolutely decimated. So does Adams, in fairness. Like, if the quarterback goes down, both of those guys are going to be shit. No Tua, Miami goes to complete shit. No Stafford, I would say. I would give Devontae like a better chance of having some acceptable production with whoever the backup is for the Rams compared to what would happen if Tua goes down for Miami, which is the whole team turns to shit. Like, they don't have good backups. They just, their whole team goes to shit. The fact that the first QB off the board just now was Jaden Daniels, that is bananas. Bananas. It's banana. Whoa, soups. It's crazy. Jaden Daniels ahead of Josh Allen, Lamar. Wild. Now, I do like, in this format, I do enjoy and prefer the super stud QB approach. Ray Zannies, who's in the chat here, we were talking a little bit about this. You talked about like the double stud QB approach, which I think is too much, but I totally get it. Fang Shadow just purposefully. Did you see what he did to Soups? Soups, you got to take McLaurin first and then Daniels. That was just the ultimate, like, slap in the face. What are you doing, Fang Shadow? You don't take a man's stack, especially when you have to deal with them. You're at the corner. Brutal. Yeah, you guys, Allen and Lamar there. Wow, I was just dreaming that one of those two would last to my pick. Unbelievable. Great start. Great value. Great value on Hall there. This is yeah, I mean, this is an interesting one the way it's going. I start out with 3 running backs, so we are loaded with elite running back talent on our team, but we are very soft literally everywhere else. Now, Amy S. going very heavy with the wide receivers early, which is fine. Acceptable in this format. There goes Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts to me is pretty much the last of the sort of, what do I call him, super stud, worth the very early pick QBs. Tells you kind of look elsewhere. There's still a lot of really good, cool. There's still a lot of really good running backs left. All right, I'm on the double pick here, and I'm just going to have to kind of, let's see what's going on at running back as well. But I don't mind some of these RBs. But we're in the kind of WR2 section here. I don't absolutely love any of these names. They're fine, just an 8 for me, that kind of thing. But if you don't take them, this is one of the reasons why maybe one of those earlier picks probably should have been a wide receiver, because now instead of getting a WR1, so this is, for me, I'm going to take a lesson from this one, guys. I don't love like starting off my draft with Jamo and George Pickens, right? I want to have one more top quality wide receiver on my team. So, and I could have gotten, so I'll give you here, and Chuba Hubbard goes next. So this is what I want to talk about, because Ivan Drago kind of like did the reverse of me. So now we can look at this and I can actually reverse this back. So let's say, would my team look better? Look at my squad. Does it look better with Garrett Wilson here, and then instead of Pickens or Jamo, Chuba Hubbard? So basically swap in Hubbard for Jacobs. No, Garrett Wilson for Jacobs for me. And then I would take here Hubbard instead of, let's say, Jameson Williams or Pickens. So which version of the team kind of looks better? And I would say I would have rather had that stronger WR1 character on my team, especially, again, in this format where if I've got Garrett Wilson, now I'm kind of like, all right, let's get Justin Fields and build a little stack around that one. Right now I've got these wide receivers that, Yeah, I mean, not super stack build worthy. They're the WR2 for their team. So, like, yeah, can I go after Goff because I have Jamo? Sure, but those two, or could I go after Dak Prescott because of picking? Yeah, but like, there are WR1s on those teams that are more attractive in stacks. So, just a little note of kind of how this came together, and just in real time rethinking, could have flipped this or that and had a really interesting different result that I think could have worked out even better. Really interesting just now to see Trevion Henderson going after RJ Harvey. Again, RJ Harvey is somebody that for me, I'm moving down in my rankings a little bit because I think that Dobbins is going to be there and he's going to be on the field and he's going to be playing a lot. And I don't think RJ Harvey is going to be a featured back on his team. I think he'll be a guy who plays half the snaps. And so I don't know that he belongs in sort of the featured back part of drafts. We'll say he's a very talented guy, but I've also heard he does have some potential issues as far as his pass protection. So we'll see how often he gets on the field. We also have Denver as a team is just not known for, so far in the last few years, they've not featured a single running back. They've been spreading the football around. So we'll see how it goes. It's just my 2 cents on RJ Harvey. Bye weeks, much less of a concern in this format for me, guys. So, just a reminder, like bye weeks, you could lose a week here during the regular season. It's much more important to build for the playoffs. You don't want too much in terms of like bye week trouble. You still want to put up a good score, so you don't want to have zeros, but it's not as critical of a factor as it is in the eliminator, where just one week of too many buys and you're definitely going to lose your head-to-head matchup, or you put yourself in a situation where you're probably going to lose your head-to-head matchup, and that sucks. Who wants to lose? No one wants to lose. I'm here to win. So that would suck. Keeping an eye on what's available. Fungool and Drago are very known for taking my favorite players right before I get to them. So it's upsetting. Here we go. All right, we got Ricky Pearsall. That's one of my favies. Got Ricky. And now I've got 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs. Let's see what's going on at running back. Can get a 4th guy. Let's see what's going on at wide receiver. Jacoby Myers, Golden, Diggs. I'm going to get the 4th running back here, Pacheco. There goes Burrow. So the last of what is considered to be sort of the elite tier of quarterbacks. That is a drop for Burrow against his ADP. Where does Burrow normally go, guys? No, we're in the Dachshund. Terrence Charles, what's up, my brother? We're in the Dachshund. Must be Michigan. Yeah, that's a reason too, just a little diversification. And it's fine. And by the way, again, no clue, right? I don't know. Harvey's going to be good, going to be bad. All I'm saying is like, Trevion Henderson's got his warts too. Like, Ramondre Stevenson's still there. But the difference is with Trevion Henderson, the buzz is that this guy is elite in pass protection. That's for me personally, it's one of my little buzzwords about listening to, it's just kind of listening to the coach speak, right? And some of these little details, like I'm always looking for rookies that can pass protect, because what ends up happening with these running backs who never really get the massive role, you find out later on, like, oh, well, the coach didn't think he could pass protect, right? Like their coaches didn't think he could get it done. And so it's like, all right, the coaches didn't think this guy could pass protect. So when I think about running backs, I care about one thing and one thing only: opportunity. That's all I care about. That's all I'm looking for. That's the only thing. I want running backs with who are going to be on the field, right? If we look at running back scoring traditionally, we know that the running back position, when you project for it, it's how many touches, and we give them a when we're assigning a projection to a running back, like just in modeling out running back scores, there's a few things that go into it. But, the team totals and the percentage of touchdowns that go to the running back position, the carries and all of that, the number of yards expected on the ground for this team multiplied by the percentage of, by the percentage of snaps that this person will get. So boiling it down in the most simple way when you project for a running back is how many touches, opportunities will this player get? More opportunities equals more fantasy points. That's simple. He's going to, so it's a multiplier of X number of points multiplied by opportunities for the running back position. So I'm looking for running backs that are going to be on the field more, right? Pass protection is a big one because a running back that can pass protect also gets on the field during those very fantasy points juicy snaps, which are the snaps where the running back set this up here. The snaps where where it's a passing down and they might check down to the running back or do something like that scores. Those third down plays, the check down. You've watched it a million times. This is not new. You guys, it's not new to you. When you're watching the game, and what are you hoping to see? You're hoping to, oh, there goes Kelsey. I really was hoping that you guys would just let me have Kelsey. I was hoping. You didn't do it. Now you kind of messed me up again. I was fully looking to do something there, and now I can't. So I'm going to take Kyler Murray. There's just no correlation here. I'm not happy with it. We get Evan Ingram, one of my favorite tight ends this year. I need more wide receivers too. So I had this whole plan of double tapping Mahomes and Kelsey on that last run. Fangul, you literally just did it. So well done, Polak. Like, that's the challenge of, again, drafting in these groups. We're all listening to these streams, so we kind of have an idea of what we're going to do. Yeah, I was just hoping I could get there. You could sneak by to me. I was going to double tap Kelsey and Mahomes there and be like, gotcha, motherfuckers. Like, I was going to do this whole thing. I had it all planned out. Yeah. So anyway, where were we? Just talking about running backs. Yeah, it's all about opportunities. So running back scoring is going to be directly correlated to how many touches they have. It's that simple. And so I want these running backs that are going to be on the field. And so when I hear a running back can't pass protect, or they're not that good, or the coach is concerned, or he's got to improve in this area, translation to me is the coaches will take him off the field on the best plays, and then you get these 2-round guys, and then you get these guys who only get they get 50% of the carries, they get 12, 14 carries, no real receptions, and those just don't score monster scores. Players in that situation don't put up big numbers. So you need running backs who are on the field on third down, who are going to catch a check down, who are able to block for the quarterback. Those are the guys that get us the 20-plus point scores that we need in order to win our weeks. That's simple. So especially when it comes down to rookies, you never know. And then you want to find out. You want to listen. What's the coach saying? Can this guy protect? Is he off the field or on the field on third down? Sometimes these guys can pass protect, but coaches kind of they put their running backs into these boxes where they're like, no, for third down, Tariq Cohen comes in, or they'll have sort of an automated process where on third down they get they pull out the 2-down grinder and they put in the third down scat back. And some teams you would set up like that. Like the Patriots under Bill Belichick, they used to have a guy whose role it was. Yeah, I have regrets about it. You're right. I thought about it right after. And I'm like, man, if I just would have taken Bo Nix there, I could have had a little stack. And instead I've got nothing, no correlation whatsoever. I hate the way my team is looking here because I can't really correlate with Kyler Murray anymore. He doesn't have anybody that matters that I could get. So that correlation is done. Why did I take Murray? I don't know. I don't want to say I panicked, but it was much more of just this draft happening in real time and my guy getting taken, and then I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. By the way, had I taken Bo Nix, I could have gotten Marvin Mims here as well and really kind of like completed the cycle of a nice little stack being built. Javonte Williams goes. So I'll get back to what you're just saying here. Must be Michigan. Because, yes. So here's yes, lower volume is acceptable. Like, that's the double combination. High volume, but also teams that score a lot. So maybe you get into the lower volume on a great team. So let's talk about teams that score a lot and where that really works out the best. The Lions are the ultimate example of a team that just scores so much that a team that scores so often that two running backs like Jahmyr Gibbs, who's being taken in round 1 in pick 5 last year, while Montgomery was healthy, rarely saw more than 16 touches in a game. But even in those 16 touches, he put up a decent score. So the Lions are a team where they score so much where it doesn't really matter as much volume as you're going to get. The same thing happens with Amon-Ra. Like, he's competing with a lot of really good other players at the same position on his team, but he ends up getting, Amon-Ra ends up doing well because it's the Lions and they just score really fast and really frequently. Same thing with Montgomery. Montgomery, really a 12 to 14 carry guy, no real receptions, 1 or 2 at most, but puts up a big number every week when he's healthy because he gets all the touchdowns on a team, or he gets a lot of touchdowns on a team that scores 4 touchdowns on average per week and sometimes 5 or 6. So yeah, I agree with you. So that's the perfect balance though. So you're balancing volume with on a team that scores a lot and doesn't suck. You can't get it all. If you get it all, now you're talking about Saquon Barkley, right? Like 1-1 overall. Everybody else has warts, issues. The team looks good. That's your AJ Brown, Hurts, Devontae Smith thing. Hey, the volume's not there, but the team is awesome and they score a lot. Okay. But when you play DFS, you know that the game where you want Smith and AJ Brown, it's not every week. You want them in a game where the opponent can really stop the run, so they're up against a team that will have success against Saquon Barkley. You also want them in a game against a team that can score. So if the Eagles are playing the Bills, or they're playing Washington, which they will twice next year, or they're playing some team like San Francisco, or that can put up points. Those are the games where you want that Hurts. You want that combination because they're gonna pop because it's a good team. They're not going to go down easy. They're going to go down. They're going to pop. But like to me, in these games where it's a domination by the Eagles and they're up 21-7 in the third quarter, the Eagles are not a team that are going to step on the gas. They'll just kind of sit back and be like, okay. There's no correlation here for me to build at this point. Got Evan Ingram. I keep looking for like a quarterback or some combination that I could create here. I'm not seeing anything great. I mean, Bryce Young sometimes has been able to get like when I have Ted McMillan on my team, been able to get that going, but I got nothing. I need more quarterbacks, that's for sure. I don't like what I have going on here, so I'll take another one with Penix. Let's see here. Wide receivers. They're pretty shit. Pretty crap. Get another wide receiver going. I am not in love with this draft at all. I don't know. I feel like this one just went off the rails. It went off the rails. Sometimes it happens. Jack Besh. Negative camp buzz about Jack Besh, but you know, that's another thing, guys. Camp buzz means shit. Like he's playing behind this guy or that guy. That stuff always goes out the door. Fungal, I hate. Wait, was that Drago? Who just took that? Who just took Janu Smith there? Not a fan, Fungal. Not a fan. Janu Smith, I guess in this spot it's fine, but Janu Smith on the Steelers now, competing with Freiermuth, low volume offense. I don't know about him. I don't know about him there. I think Janu Smith's value went out the garbage when they traded him. I'm not saying it definitely did. I'm saying I don't like it. Oh, if I would have only taken Bo Nix, what a beautiful stack I could have built. And it would have been beautiful. It would have been a thing of beauty. We are soft at tight end. Soft at tight end primarily. RB can use another one. Arthur loves him. That's the only reason. Yeah, you know, he loves him. Does he love him? I guess. Everybody thought that he loves him. Like, why is he playing him ahead of Kyle Pitts? And he must love him. And then, as it turns out, I think just Kyle Pitts is not very good. As crazy as that is, as crazy as it is to think that a guy in Kyle Pitts, who everybody said was this generational prospect, this is why it's so scary to take tight ends early. In the last couple of years, right, we've had Kyle Pitts completely blow up. O.J. Howard, I think, was a first-round tight end. There's a lot of these first-round tight ends. Eric Ebron, I think he was a first-round tight end. Like, so many first-round tight ends don't work out. I believe Dalton Kincaid was a first-round tight end. Not working out. Not working out. Dalton Kincaid. But, yeah, we had Brock Bowers, who is smashing, and we've had some other decent first-round tight end situations. So, like, first-round tight end, is it something that you think is acceptable? I feel like of all the position groups, when it comes to like taking tight ends early, I have the lowest faith in the early tight end that it will work out into something good. For me, it's the lowest. First round, you know, there's Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts was a disaster. So like, but then you had Brock Bowers. And Brock Bowers is a generational player who actually is that. But how can I trust people when they say a player is generational talent? I love Hunter Henry. Good pick there. And a good grab against ADP. I think Hunter Henry might be my favorite sort of like ADP-based pick when it comes to the tight end position. Yeah, I need another tight end here. And I don't like what just happened. I was hoping Henry would get there. Then I was hoping somebody else would get there. And now we're down to not. So let's see here. Wandy Robinson, we'll get that going as well. Always get Wandale in just about every draft. So my last few picks here will focus. I've got 7 wide receiver, 4 running back, 2 quarterback, 2 tight end. So I need another quarterback. We'll see how many are left. I need another. Oh, I should have taken the quarterback there. Whoops. And I need another tight end. So there's always tight ends left at the very end, but I should have taken the quarterback there. This whole draft has gone off the rails for me. It's been a disaster. Not one of my better ones. Yeah, Mayer. I don't think Mayer was a first rounder. I think he was a second rounder, but still, a lot of these tight ends, man, you talk about a scary, like in your dynasty draft, when you're doing dynasty fantasy football and you have that first round tight end, man, I have zero confidence when I'm taking one of those guys that I'm getting somebody good. Zero confidence. I just don't trust it. Early tight ends, the amount of times they burned us. Kyle Brady, Johnny Mitchell. Yeah, Bowers, man, Bowers. The scary thing with Bowers, though, I don't know. I think we've seen what McBride is, and it's really good. I think with McBride, we can get some touchdown positive regression where he scores a little more, a little more touchdown action than he's had in the last couple of years. Like he's had some issues getting in the end zone. That's more Kyler Murray, just not being that great of a quarterback. Brock Bowers, though, he gets a quarterback improvement this year. So we haven't seen the top. I don't think we've seen the best of Bowers at all. I think we're going to see like as scary as it sounds, I think we could see a better year out of Brock Bowers this year than we saw last year. So he has a chance to really elevate. I think Brock Bowers, if you have him on your dynasty, in your keeper league, you're going to hold on to him like grim death. Like that guy could give us a 10-year Travis Kelce / Tony Gonzalez level career that will just destroy. There was a point where Travis Kelce was being taken, in round 1 in fantasy drafts. Like off of one of his better seasons, you were like happy to take Travis Kelce, like pick 6 overall, 7. Like Gronk was going at the top of round 1. So super elite tight ends that score touchdowns, it's just irreplaceable. Those are the kind of guys you take at all costs. You just make sure you get them. Watching this draft come back around. Let's see what we got going on here. Thornton, that buzzy wide receiver in Las Vegas that is, buzzing as possibly running with the starters now. Thornton. We got De'Ami Brown going to Diamond Jim. De'Ami Brown again. I think he's a good potential best ball piece this year. A good pick here late in the draft. De'Ami Brown, touchdown scorer in his opening season. Alec Pierce, another kind of touchdown scorer type of guy. So, yeah, well, there goes Wilson, who is part of the Arizona wide receiver group. So I've got enough wide receiver. I need, I can use a tight end here as well, or another QB, and just like wrap it up with Richardson and Danny Jones, and just, all right, I did something. I did a thing. There. We'll see how that works out. Yeah. We'll need a Gronk type of season. Yeah, I would agree with that. With Bowers, who's getting double-digit targets most weeks. Like the guy has very little competition for targets. They lost Devontae Adams. They didn't replace. I mean, they didn't really do anything at wide receiver on the Raiders. They added a better QB. I think he could get up there. And by the way, if Geno's throwing for 30 touchdowns, who's he throwing them to? Bowers. Jacoby Myers never really been a touchdown scorer, and they don't have anyone else. I guess the running backs, sure, but I mean, at best, the running back can account for what, 40% of the touchdowns, 35. They got to go somewhere. We got to get another tight end on this squad. So we'll do that with our next pick. And this is a weird one for me. I'm not like dying to even break it down because I don't like the way my draft went at all here. I have zero correlation, nothing. No, my QBs have no connection whatsoever. The only thing I can say about my quarterback group that's acceptable here is, well, at least there's a bunch of guys who use their legs. So I might not need the correlation because Kyler Murray can get it done with his legs, and Jones / Richardson, 1 QB out of 2, can get it done with his legs. Like, that's my justification. I just have one last pick left, so we'll start to kind of figure out what that last pick is going to be. I need to take a tight end, so it will be one of the remaining tight ends here. Either, Schultz, Sanders, Theo Johnson, T. Ferg, Ben Sinnott is okay. I don't mind Ben Sinnott. Ertz and Ingram have the same bye week. Oh my gosh. So I don't want Sinnott another week 12 bye. So we'll try to get a guy who does not have an overlapping bye week with those other two. Tyler Higbee's not a bad tight end option available with the last pick. This assumption that everybody seems to have that Higbee is done and this, second round pick is going to take over for him. I'm not buying that. I don't really think that's going to be the case. Fungul with Milroe. I like it. Some crazy upside if you're right about Milroe. All right, I finished out my draft with Jatavian Sanders. You can't see it on the screen, but that's who I took. I don't know why that doesn't show. Sanders with the week 14 bye, which doesn't overlap with Ingram and Ertz at week 12. So there we go. All right. Let's do a little recap here, guys, and we'll call it a Monday Palooza. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the breakdown. Oh, I forgot to mention that at DFS Army, how do I go through this whole draft without mentioning that DFS Army, we do have our July 4th sale. It is still going strong. So if you guys want to check out DFS Army, the one I suggest using this with is the NFL season long. We have a 12-month package of NFL where you get the whole year, not just NFL, but all the other sports, preseason. We do preseason DFS here, DFS Army, the best ball off-season rankings, everything that you want. Access to the chat, the Discord, the DFS Army community, which is king and the greatest part about being a part of DFS Army. So if you want to check it out, promo code July 4th, I suggest doing the 12-month NFL package. Just grab it for 25% off. You'll knock it down. It's $299 for the whole year. Take out 25%. That's $75. You get a whole year of DFS Army, DFS, NFL. You get the optimizer, the best projection model in the entire industry at me. We have the #1 most accurate projection system in the DFS space. You get access to that with the Domination Station optimizer. You get access to the notes, the cheat sheets, Players Club, all the stuff we do all year, 12 months from today. So when you sign up, you don't have to wait for September. Doesn't matter. This is a 12-month plan. It'll renew. Get 25% off. Promo code July 4th. Let freedom ring. Let the white dove sing. Let the whole world know that today is the day of reckoning. Celebrating our independence. July 4th. July 4 promo code. July 4. Okay. Let's go. Promo code July 4. Don't leave the studio. Stay in here. What am I doing? Present. Okay. Let's take a look at how this draft went for everyone. Little rundown. Again, reminder, promo code July 4, 25% off anything we do. You want to do the season long, the full 12-month NFL package. I'm not going to say to do a monthly NFL package right now. We don't have that much going on. It's July. A lot more going to happen in August. If you're going to do the monthly, wait until then. Or September when DFS is going strong. But 12 months to get the whole year. Get the best ball stuff in the community, in the Discord, in the chat, hanging out with everybody, being part of the DFS Army family. That's where we want you to be. So promo code July 4, special deal, Independence Day. I don't even want to break down my draft here. I just feel like it went off the rails. I guess we'll go into where it went off the rails. So I feel like actually my draft really started to go off the rails when I double tapped running backs here with Jace Brown and Jacobs. I probably should have just taken a wide receiver there. Probably could have just taken Garrett Wilson and then kind of gone a different way as far as like trying to get Justin Fields. I could have gotten Justin Fields in one of these picks had I had Wilson, maybe. So instead, because Drago takes Wilson, you end up, of course, taking Fields here, which kind of left me in a weird spot. It was just a weird situation. So I got my 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers in a row. Williams, Pickens, Pearsall. Love Pearsall. You know it. You know it. You know it. I will be screaming Pearsall from the rooftops. Got Pacheco there as well. So we get our 4th starting running back. And, of course, then I just kind of scrambled for some QB action. I end up with 3 quarterbacks, take a bunch of wide receivers late, and just hope for the best. Shit got crazy. Drago, always a thoughtful drafter. We got Joe Burrow with Chase. We got Fields with Wilson. It's kind of double stud quarterback approach. I don't mind it. And then Walker, Chuba, and Swift with Javonte. So late picks at running back still wind up with 4 starting running backs. And I'm sure there's that's it. That's all you really need. Fungul here in the chat with us. Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Devontae, love Devontae, Kittle, Cortland Sutton, Quinshon Judkins. So we get our 3 starters at running back. Devontae, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Hollywood Brown. A little sketchy at wide receiver there, but Tillman, good pick late. Pierce has some upside as well. QB situation, a little sketchy with Mahomes there, and then just a bunch of ne'er-do-well. So Fungul, it's a lot of reliance on Mahomes, but I love where you got him. We don't know that Joe Flacco or Milroe will play a snap this year. My guess is they won't, but who knows? Check the Brown stack, Fungul. You got a Brownie stack here? I mean, I guess if you're looking at Flacco as the starter and you got Tillman and Jeudy, okay, so all right. I'll accept it. But, of course, that assumes that Flacco will be the starter. If Flacco's the starter, you get that situation, though, that could be pretty good. So, you know what? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. UCF in here with us. Nico, Brian Thomas, 2 touchdown scoring. Wide receivers, we got Brown, Hall there at a bargain price. Lamar at an extreme bargain price. Oh, my goodness. That's so solid. Kamara, Connor. So we got 3 good running backs. Connor needs to stay healthy. Jaden Reed, Hawkinson, Coleman, Najee. Don't love any of those guys. Stroud and Love. Stroud goes with Nico. I guess Jolo goes with Jaden Reed. So we got our correlation going on there. TJ Hawkinson in the mix. Added on Christian Kirk to go with Stroud for that double stack. I mean, this is pretty good all around. Chig, Pitts, whatever. A bunch of crap at the end. But overall, well thought through. Nice little correlation. Friday 13, you're in here as well, I believe. Right? Neighbors, Amin-Ra, Friday 13th. That's must be Michigan, I believe. So Malik, Amin-Ra, Kyron. Love Malik, love Amin-Ra. Kyron, Harvey, Joe Mixon. Wait, am I looking at the right fucking draft? What is this? I felt like I already talked about this a little bit. I guess I'm just, recalling. But Josh Allen there is crazy. Trying to get Buffalo week 15, New England. Yeah, so you're thinking through on those final weeks. You're thinking about it. That's good. I can't even think about those game stacks from weeks out. But yeah, okay. Got Ramondre in there from New England. Got some Josh Allen action there. We've got K-Shack going with Allen, which is good. Kyron Williams, fine. The running back group is fine. Brian Thomas Robinson Jr., touchdown scorer. Mixon, Harvey, whatever. Again, Harvey, would I take Harvey here? I take Trevion ahead of him. Minimal, very minimal critique there. Harvey could easily outscore Henderson. Got Dalton Kincaid in there with Josh Allen. So the Josh Allen stack looks really solid. Not sure I love these other tight ends. I really don't love the tight end group here at all. So that'd be the only thing kind of look at maybe if I had to do this one again, where I might go a little different is try to get a little better in my tight end group overall. I get it. I love that Dalton is stacked with his guy, but it's probably an early pick of Dalton even, and then just needed more good tight ends and less of these garbage ones that are there at the end. And then Soups. Achan, Janty just flipped the script. Normally it's Janty then Achan. Flipped it, no good reason. Fang Shadow grabs Bucky Irving, probably fucked up with your head there when he did that. But I mean, if you could have gotten Henry and Achan, I would have rather seen like Derrick Henry in there, personally. Jaden Daniels, the early pick. Did you get some correlation with him? No. Got Igbuga, who we talked about at the beginning of the show. Oh, yeah, there we go. Jaden Daniels with Deebo Samuel. That's solid. Okay, fine. DJ Moore, Deebo, Downs. I think this group of wide receivers is going to work out. Soups is always a wild card. J.K. Dobbins in there. Jaden Blue, Bigsby, Quentin Johnston, maybe too soon there. Calvin Austin here I like, and Freiermuth and Juwan Johnson. So Soups, overall, as always, you always do a good job with these drafts, thinking it through. Aaron Rodgers, I guess, with Calvin Austin. And did you get his other stack? No, but this was just an emergency last pick. So Soups chooses to go just 2 quarterbacks, keep it just Jaden, fill up the other position groups. Don't need anybody else scoring for me. I've got fucking Jaden Daniels, and I get that. So if you're going to just do 2 QB, it should be because you spent early draft capital on a quarterback. I like it. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Draft-a-Palooza Monday. We did Underdog. We'll come back with some DraftKings action here on Wednesday. Again, stay tuned to the channel. I've got some short form videos coming out, just like my favorite flag plants, some sleepers, some guys I'm avoiding. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel here. Am I going to be doing a best ball show during the season? I don't think so. Unless I doubt, for me personally, that I can't add more content in season. If you guys know, watch the channel, I do a ton of content. But we might have someone else do that. Maybe Fantasy Fling's been out here doing some best ball content for us on Tuesday afternoons, and maybe we'll keep it going with him. So there we go, guys. Good stuff. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Reminder that promo code July4, JULY4, gets 25% off any DFS Army subscription. That is happening now, right now in the month of July. You won't get a discount like that. Again, we don't discount it that much in August and September. So if you're thinking about doing NFL with us for the season, DFS NFL, it's not just NFL though. We got arena football, all the other football stuff that goes on, XFL, whatever goes on over the course of the year, best ball, all of that. So the NFL season long is a 12-month pass. It's not this season. It's 12 months from when you buy it. And you'll get 25% off. That's super worth it. I mean, where else? $225 for the whole year? It's like $5 a month. It's nothing. Nothing. Get in there. Check it out. Guys, we'll be back on Wednesday. More Draft-a-Palooza. I'll see you. Take care, everybody.